Over the last few years, YouTube's paid out tens of billions of dollars. And what's crazy is that a massive chunk of that is going to channels where you literally never see a creator's face. So in this breakdown, we're going to look at how these faceless channels are pulling in some serious cash, often way more than a typical 9-to-5 job, just by playing the game the way YouTube wants it played now.
Okay, and this right here, this quote is pretty much the key to this whole thing. The game has completely changed. See, it's not about who can work themselves to the bone anymore. No, it's all about building a smart, repeatable content machine. So here's the plan. We're going to start by diving into that big shift in what YouTube actually rewards. Then we'll walk through a roadmap of 8 super powerful niches. We'll start with the easiest ones to get into and then build all the way up to the ones that could, actually replace your full-time job. And you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end because that's where we get to the real secret that makes all of this work.
All right, so why all the buzz about being faceless? What's the big deal? Well, it really boils down to one word: efficiency. Think about it. These channels are built like little factories, like systems. They don't care if the creator is having a bad day or is tired or feeling totally burnt out. The machine just keeps on running.
And this slide really lays it all out, right? The old way was all about personality, a creator's charisma and the raw energy. But the new way? It's all about having a system that you can scale up. Success has literally shifted from being about the person in front of the camera to being all about the process that's happening behind the scenes.
Okay, let's jump into our first group, the starter niches. And just like the name says, these are the absolute easiest ones to get into. You need pretty much zero experience, which makes them perfect if you just want to dip your toes in and see what happens. First up, at number 8, we've got YouTube drama and internet commentary. This one is all about speed, man. You're jumping on creator scandals, breaking down internet mysteries, basically any viral moment you can find. The story itself is the product. You're just the reporter. But fair warning, the source makes it clear that trying to keep up with that insane, relentless pace can be super stressful.
And here's the catch, the big trade-off. Your RPM, that's your revenue per 1,000 views, it's going to be on the lower side. But if you nail the timing and catch a topic just as it's exploding, the sheer number of views you can get can be absolutely massive. So that huge volume can definitely make up for the lower rate per view. All right, next up at number 7, we're doing a complete 180. We're talking about relaxing science and sleep content. This niche is the total opposite of drama. It's built on comfort, on consistency. We're talking simple, often looping visuals, super slow narration, all designed to just keep people watching or maybe just listening for hours and hours on end.
So the whole strategy here is pretty clever. Yeah, the earnings per view are low, maybe even the lowest, but the amount of watch time you can rack up is just insane. Your videos become the background noise for someone's life while they're studying, working, or trying to fall asleep. So, you get paid less for each individual view, but you get so many of them that it can still add up to some really serious money.
Okay, now we're starting to level up. We're getting into what's known as evergreen niches. This is content that doesn't just have a huge spike and then die off after a week. No, this stuff can keep attracting new viewers for months, sometimes even for years. It just keeps building momentum, kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill.
And in this category, we've got 2 really powerful examples. First, you have history documentaries. These are amazing for binge watching, and let me tell you, the YouTube algorithm loves binge watching. Then you've got psychology. This one is so effective because it hooks people on a really personal level. It creates these little curiosity loops and gives you that, wait a second, that's totally me feeling. It just makes you want to keep clicking to understand yourself better.
All right, time to level up again. We are now officially entering the earner niches. This is where things get really interesting because it's not just about the content anymore. It's about the audience. The people watching are so valuable that advertisers are willing to pay way, way more to get in front of them. So what's the common thread here? It's all about money. You've got economics documentaries that pull in a pretty educated audience who wants to know how markets work. And then you have luxury channels, which cater to people who are either wealthy or are fascinated by wealth and have a high intent to spend. Either way, for an advertiser, that just screams dollar signs.
And here we are. We've made it to the power niches. This is the big league. According to the source material, these next 2 categories are where a single, faceless channel can realistically bring in enough money to replace a full-time job. This is the absolute top tier.
Coming in hot at number 2 is AI and automation. Look, this is easily one of the most aggressively monetized categories on all of YouTube right now. And why is that? It's simple. Every single business, every single creator out there is desperately trying to get an edge using AI. And that means software companies are in a bidding war to get their attention.
And all that insane demand from advertisers, it just sends the RPM through the roof. We're talking $10, $20, or even more. Let me put that in perspective for you. A single video in this niche could earn you 4 times more than a video with the exact same number of views in a starter niche like YouTube drama. It's a whole different ballgame. And finally, here it is, the #1 spot. The source puts personal finance at the absolute top of the food chain, and the reason why is incredibly simple. It all comes down to one thing: audience intent. See, this is what makes personal finance the king. A viewer isn't just scrolling by passively curious. No, they are actively looking to make a decision with their money. They're thinking, which bank should I use? Which stock should I buy? What's the best credit card for me? And that kind of intent, that is pure gold to advertisers, banks, brokerages, you name it. It pushes the RPMs into the stratosphere. We're talking $15, $30, or even higher.
So, okay, we've just gone through this incredible breakdown of 8 super powerful niches. But the source makes one last really crucial point here. It turns out the real secret to success, it's probably not what you think it is.
Think about it. You could pick the absolute perfect niche from this list. You could go for the highest paying one, personal finance, AI, whatever. But if you don't have this one thing in place, you are almost guaranteed to get stuck. And eventually, you'll probably just fail.
And this is it. The real secret isn't the niche you pick, it's the system you build. Your success isn't really determined by the topic. It's determined by having a reliable, repeatable, and basically frictionless way to turn your ideas into actual videos. You know, the niche is the what, but the system, that's the how. And the how is what really matters.
And that's really the big question to leave you with. The real opportunity here isn't just about picking a cool topic from a list. It's about designing your own efficient machine that can produce content for that topic day in and day out. So the question isn't just what niche to pick, it's which system are you going to build?